diversified financial solutions for over 25 years. I'm also on the boards of the Society of Financial Service Professionals and the Town of Brookhaven Women's Services. So how did this whole power thing start? I hate reading from a thing, but I have so many things to tell you that if I don't do this, I'm not going to remember all the little pieces. So there's a lot going on in this brain. But so how did this whole thing start? Back in 2012, I was invited by the CEO of my former broker-dealer to attend a power event in Virginia Beach. When I returned home, he suggested I start a chapter in New York. So I did. In August of 2012, we had our inaugural power event where actually Maria Tonkus, who is here with us, raise your hand over there, was actually, she was actually our first speaker at our inaugural event. So thank you. You were here from the beginning, and you're going to be here for many, many years. So, and I'm very happy. You're going to be here for many, many. Don't roll your eyes. So basically, we were doing our events, networking, and supporting charities, but wanted to solidify our mission a little bit further. So in 2017, we incorporated and became a 501c nonprofit organization. The money we raise through events like this one and through annual donations from our power supporters go towards scholarships. We started our Women in Business Award 3 years ago to give recognition to women that have great stories and achieve success in their own right. The first honoree was Paige Pfeiffer, and I think we just saw her walk in the door. There she is. The owner of the Cheese Patch on Main Street in Patchogue. The second year was Lynn Giuliano, CPA and partner in Fuller Lowenberg, and I know she's in the house. And she's right next to Paige. These power women just cluster, I don't know. This year, we are thrilled to be honoring Jen Papiti, who's right in the front here. She is the owner of Seymour Boutique in Patchogue. We have come a long way, baby. Sadly, the Virginia Beach chapter is no longer active, but we are thrilled to be here for 7 years and look forward to growing for many, many more years. And actually, we've had some very interesting things come. And I have somebody here from Florida who actually is an executive in my broker-dealer, Regina, who's here from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. One of the reasons we have her here is that we've embarked on a women's impact network group through our broker-dealer. And we have a lot of women throughout the country, so we're maybe looking to take power across the country. So we're still not sure how we're going to do that yet, but you know, we'll figure it out. So it's very exciting. And then outside our broker-dealer, we actually got a call in the office about somebody from Nashville. It's one of my male colleagues, but he has an all-woman office, so we may be in Nashville too. So we may be bringing this thing national. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted. So next thing, I just want to know, because I see a lot of new faces here, and I'm so excited to have that, but raise your hand if you're attending your first Power Brunch this year. That's pretty awesome. So welcome. That's pretty exciting. We have a lot of our longtime power people sprinkled, and get to know them as we go through the day. And like I said, we're doing a lot of really cool things. We wanted to thank everyone that made this day possible. To our generous sponsors, first and foremost, Fresh Face Photo Booths. So we want to thank you so much, Jessica, for coming. I believe Jessica found us somehow, some way, and she said, "I'd love to be at your brunch," and we were overwhelmed and thrilled to have you. So thank you. I know some of you have partaken in the photo booth and taken some pictures. So if you haven't already, please do. And when you're having your parties, your christenings, your weddings, your bar mitzvahs, remember Jessica and Fresh Face Photo Booths. That's a lot of words. We also want to thank Fuller Lowenberg and Company CPAs for their generous contribution, as well as Independent Solutions Wealth Management, which is a money manager through my broker-dealer. And thank you to all the companies and individuals that donated items to the Chinese auction and the swag bags. So if you haven't seen, we have some great things here, and then our swag bags are pretty cool too. That's something you'll get on your way out. We have been here for the past several years, so we want to say a special thanks to Charlotte and her staff. They do an amazing job here, so thank you. if you haven't really tasted the real food yet, so people that have been here before, we know that's pretty good. And I think someone mentioned, I won't mention who, had 3 plates last year. I'm just saying. So anyway, so we are growing. So I don't know. Next year it could be a possibility that we may need to move into the larger room. So we're kind of busting out of this room, which means that this is going pretty well. So it's pretty exciting stuff. So what is the mission of Power? Basically, it's inspiring women to be amazing and having quality in business leadership by building a foundation of personal and professional support in all stages of their lives through education, networking, and giving back to the community. Our goal is to raise women up and to become more successful in their lives in and out of the business world. So it's not just for business people, but really something we always talk about. Lorraine Meyer is in the house, a business teacher at the high school, that really everything, whether you open up an art studio, a boutique, I mean, really the core is business. So everybody kind of needs that type of support. So, but we're here for everybody. And one of the things, we are not a feminist organization, however. As you see today, men are always welcome, and thank you for all the men in the room for coming. It's brave men. So we thank you. Basically, let's face it, women are from Venus and men are from Mars, but having a good working relationship with men is something we encourage. Many times there's that misconception when you hear something is a women's organization, but we are happy to be supported and, more importantly, respected by men. So that's the one thing, so it's keeping it positive. That's what it's all about. I decided to start Power years ago because I felt like networking groups were very cliquey and not very sincere. The worst thing is to go to a new group and be ignored. I knew we could do better. We do not have a lot of rules of entry or monthly meetings. Basically, we have about 4 to 5 events throughout the year, with the brunch being our premier fundraising event. We have 3 levels of supporters: students, so we have many of our student members here, individuals, and business owners. Our vision is to have each level of support to support the other levels. So for example, having a business owner available to mentor our student supporters either through internships, which we have, community service, or jobs. And I know there was just very timely, Jen Popiti is looking for a part-time position right now in her boutique. So these are the types of things, kind of working together and kind of helping each other out when we need a helping hand. We want you to be part of this amazing group. Make sure you stop by the supporter table to see how you can get involved. And Greg, I believe, there he is. Greg is the man to speak to, and he will, like I said, we have men working with us too, to help explain to you about the different levels of supporters and how you can become involved and be part of this organization. You may have heard of, who's heard of the crabs in the bucket example? All right. So for those of you who haven't, basically, when you put crabs in a bucket, many of the crabs are trying to, climb out of the bucket, and what happens, what do the other crabs do? They pull them back down into the bucket, like, you're not getting out of there. And so basically, our tribe are the crabs that lift the other crabs out of the bucket, not the ones that pull them back down. So that's kind of a visual. As you leave here today, you're gonna think of crabs and in the bucket, and you'll think of all these things, and you'll know. We're going to add that to our mission. I'm just saying, I think that's fantastic. No, really. So that's the crabs. So now you all can say you know about the crabs in the bucket example. So I want to acknowledge a few people who are very integral to the success of Power and have done so much work to make this brunch possible. This was, I'm going to hit all 3 of you. That's what we're doing. This was the first year. Well, let me go back there. I want to acknowledge a few people who are very integral to the success of Power and who have done so much work to help this make this brunch possible. This was the first year we had interns for Power, and we are so thrilled to have them pull things together for the brunch. So I'd like to just introduce, Grace Camiso and Ivy Mott. Just maybe want to stand up. We thank you so much for everything you've done and what you're doing today. So we hope you learned a few things too. So awesome. I love it. Next we have